Hey YouTubers, I would like to speak to you today about empathy in people with Asperger's. It's often said that people with Asperger's syndrome don't have a sense of empathy, that they are indifferent to how other people feel. All people at some time or another feel apathetic toward others, um, but it's absolutely false that Aspies, people with Asperger's syndrome, lack empathy. If you're watching this, you probably know my son Spencer. He just turned 7 years old and he has Asperger's syndrome. He's frequently unresponsive when spoken to. He has trouble staying on a topic that's not one of his obsessions. And he often avoids eye contact or doesn't face the person he's speaking to. And he misses verbal and facial and other cues that indicate how others feel. This is typical of Aspies, and while they may not be socially intuitive, they are not indifferent to others. My son will sometimes say or do things to me or others that would generally be considered unfeeling or inconsiderate. To him, he's just stating a fact or an opinion. He's not understanding the social implications. Sometimes he's just quoting a movie he's seen. About a quarter of his dialogue are quotations that he thinks fit a solution, that a situation uh, that he saw in a movie or overheard someone else say. He doesn't intuitively realize the social implications of his words in others, and he also isn't emotionally affected by the words of others in a neurotypical way. However, if I tell Spencer that something he did or said hurt my feelings or that he made me sad, he most certainly does care. Spencer will cry at the thought of hurting someone's feelings. He does not want to offend, hurt, or disappoint people, and it's important to him to do right by others. He loves people and he wants to make them happy. He's very considerate, he's generous, he's affectionate, but just not always in a conventional way and not always with appropriate timing. Here's an example. Spencer loves to play Mario Karts for the Wii. He is phenomenal at this game, scoring gold and silver trophies from racing tournaments with the game set on the expert level. He loves it when I play with him, and often when I'm doing my very best, he can still beat me, which is fantastic. He usually races against me and 10 other characters that the game generates from the Mario universe. And a typical race is 3 laps around some fantasy mythical racetrack. Um, there's dozens of racetracks, and each one provides a different set of challenges. Now, it's complete mayhem with characters throwing obstacles at us, getting the occasional extra power for our vehicles, jumping ramps, taking shortcuts, battling for the best line through the turns, drafting, drifting, doing power slides, trying not to go off the track into lava or quicksand or water, um, whatever the track features. So last weekend, we were playing Mario Karts, and Spencer just wasn't on his A game. He was coming in 8th, 10th, no better than 4th, and we were halfway through a tournament of 16 races. He was feeling negative and discouraged, and he was obsessing about things going wrong, and he was rehearsing aggressive language that he had picked up outside the home. He was determined to quit the race, and I insisted that he see the tournament through since I was playing along. Been working on trying to make him think about how his behavior impacts his playmates. So I, encouraged him to keep the game on, and I had to go to the bathroom, so I excused myself. And when I returned to the living room, he was sitting at his desk designing a race car on paper, and the TV and the Wii had been turned off. So I said, Spencer, why did you turn off the game? And he said, I don't want to play anymore, Dad. No big deal, Daddy. And so I didn't let it go at that. And I said, but I was in first place. What about me? I would have earned a trophy, Spencer. And by nature, he doesn't immediately comprehend all the words that I say. So I repeated myself and I said, if you had let us play for 10 more minutes, Spencer, I could have had a gold trophy, but now I can't have one. I wasn't sure if he would grasp the concept, that his decision to end the game denied his playmate of a satisfying finish. I had hoped to get some acknowledgement from him that what he did was unfair. Honestly, I don't care if I get a trophy or not. I play with him primarily to work on his interpersonal skills. I would have been happy with just a simple apology. Uh, However, I could see a light come on in his mind. His arms reached out and his expression just melted into remorse. And he said, "I'm sorry, Dad." And he was horrified. He put his arms around me. He was sobbing hard. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You could have got a gold trophy." And I was blown away. I tend to have very low expectations for restitution whenever Spencer commits a social blunder. And in this case, he, the reigning household champion racer, he felt genuine remorse that his actions had denied me, his sidekick and racing protege, my moment of glory. So I hugged him back and told him I would be just fine, that I'd won a gold trophy before, and I thanked him for his apology. Now, not all Aspies are this expressive at his age, and even a sweetheart like Spencer doesn't realize when an apology is due most of the time. But Aspies do care about others. They're just wired different, and they simply miss cues. They're not spoiled brats. They're not self-absorbed any more than we are. Um, they just have sensitivities and distractions that most of us don't deal with. Um, so, so, if you know anyone with Asperger syndrome, please bear in mind that their actions and words are usually what they think are appropriate. And if they're not appropriate, it's not a lack of concern for your feelings or a desire to be unfair. Don't let it anger you. Don't retaliate, but don't be afraid to set them straight. If they make a social error, they usually would want to know. They're often just not aware of it. Aspies have unique perspectives and they have rich minds, and they have a lot to offer. They're trying hard to fit in, and if you do your part in being understanding, you can gain a lot from the Aspie in your life. Thank you for watching, and I hope this clears up some confusion about people with Asperger's and empathy.